Hi everybody, it's Michaela Armijo again, and today we're going to hit on the subject of vaccines. This is a super touchy subject for a lot of people, so let's all keep very respectful of our opinions. These are my opinions alone, backed by factual and scientific-based research. Okay, so vaccinating your children is not only going to save their lives, but it's going to save the lives of thousands of other children. So here we have me and my son Emiliano. He's a year and a half years old, and he started receiving his vaccines as soon as he was able to, so about 2 to 3 days old. It was never a question for my husband and I to get our son vaccinated. We knew that he was going to get vaccinated. We never had any questions on the vaccines. We were always very trusting, and it wasn't until we started joining parenting groups that we started to realize that other parents might not be as informed about vaccines as we were, and that they also might be a little bit ignorant and outdated with the research that they have. So, why should you choose to vaccinate your child? The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that vaccines can save your child's lives. There are vaccines out there that have been able to eliminate or almost eliminate every infectious disease that is out there. So one of those is polio. So if we all just want to take a second and let's think out a scenario. Imagine sending your child out to the store, to the park, to school, and having to worry every single day about them coming home with polio, a disease that can cause death, and if not death, paralysis for the rest of their lives. That's not something that we have to worry about anymore because of the medical advancements that we have been able to make, and we have a vaccine. And the same can be said for dozens of other diseases. Without vaccines, we wouldn't be at the point where we feel we are safe to send our children out into the world. So this next slide, I want you to just take a look at our little infographic right there. So scientists and doctors have studied vaccines for years before they've even produced the capability to distribute this among children. So you're not going out there and blindly allowing your child to receive a vaccine when you don't know what it's about. Scientists have done their thorough research. There have been thousands upon thousands of scientists and medical doctors looking at the side effects of these, and according to them, the side effects and the risks that you could say far outweigh not vaccinating your child. So again, you get your child vaccinated, and things that could happen would be redness, tenderness, or even a fever for a couple of days. And on the other side of that, choosing not to vaccinate your child could result in death. And if not the death of your child, the death of another. So that's just something that I really want you to think about, because I know what I would choose for my child. I would choose the discomfort for a couple days as opposed to his death or even causing the death of another child. So if you pay attention to the news, we're seeing an overwhelming amount of whooping cough coming out. This past cold and flu season, we've seen so many children end up in the hospital because of whooping cough. And it's not because they didn't receive the vaccine on time, it's because they weren't able to. So by you not vaccinating your child, you're not only putting your child at risk, but you're putting others at risk too who might not be old enough to receive a vaccine. All of a sudden, in the past 13 years, we've seen a spike in whooping cough and in the measles. And that's peculiar because we haven't seen that in our lifetimes at least. But here it is all of a sudden. And that's because more and more people are choosing not to vaccinate their child for reasons that are a little bit outdated and reasons that they don't truly understand. So if we take a look at this graphic provided by the CDC, we'll see that vaccinated children born between 1994 and 2001 can prevent 472 million illnesses. They can avoid over 1 million deaths, and they can save around $2.2 trillion in total societal costs. So now you might be asking, aren't vaccines linked to autism? That's the big worry that everybody has. If I vaccinate my child will have autism. Well, if you've ever heard of someone named Andrew Wakefield, he was a medical researcher who published a study in 1998 claiming that the MMR vaccine is directly linked to autism. Long story short, Dr. Wakefield is no longer Dr. Wakefield. He was stripped of his medical license. He's not allowed to practice anymore. The research that he conducted was not done ethically, it was not done correctly, so all of his findings ended up being false. And there are many scientists, medical doctors, and medical researchers who have gone through and have tried to make sense of his findings, but they were unable to because everything that he did was wrong for science. Now you also might be saying, my religion told me I can't vaccinate my children. Well, we can take a look here at all these religions named, and in their doctrines they have nothing saying that you cannot vaccinate your child. The only little thing that you might get confused on is the Jehovah's Witnesses, but in 1952 they revised their doctrine saying that you can get vaccinated in order to prevent infectious diseases. So in conclusion, you can help protect my baby and yours by getting vaccinated. Thanks for checking it out.